who I'm so thrilled, and Kira's going to highlight her on the screen. I'm so thrilled to have her here today. I'm just kind of blown away at our next speaker, to be honest with you. And let me do a really beautiful introduction as we're highlighting Ruth Klein. Here we go. Whoops, where's Ruth Klein? Here we are. Okay. So Ruth Klein is a brand strategist and a book coach. She'll tell you all about it, but she's got this incredible program where she just like ignites you into writing your book, but not like, guys, this is like, now time, right? We want now results. We want it like things to happen immediately. She's that person. Anyhow, Ruth and I became friends, and I'm just so incredibly thrilled to have her here with us today. And hang on, I have my view on. There we go. There you are. Hi. So Ruth, let me just say, Ruth is a brand strategist, book coach for CEOs, entrepreneurs, coaches, and author of seven best-selling books, and specializes in everything brands and books. So we're going to talk today about embodying your brand and how important that is, not only as an author and a book writer. Maybe some of you are aspiring to do that, or you already are authors. Throw in the chat. Let's give Ruth some love, and let's see who is a book writer, who's an author, who's excited about this. I am so excited. Ruth, hello. Welcome.
Hello, Patti, and hello to everyone. Patti, Patti and I haven't actually met in person yet, but I feel like I already know you, and I've known you for so long. So that's very special. That's very special. It tells me that you're very authentic, and you not only come across via camera, but you also come across the same way over the phone. So, and the reason I kind of share that with you is that it's so important, because it's who you are, and your brand is who you are everywhere you go.
Thank you, Ruth. Oh my gosh, I'm really teary today, you guys. So just bear with me. I'm just really blown away at all of the collaboration that's happening and all the love that's poured into this group. And it's just really, really special. So guys, you have to understand that when you come from your heart and you make a phone call and you say to somebody, I'm doing this thing that's really special, and I want to activate my audience into their power and their magic, then people like Ruth say yes to you. So I just want to say thank you for being here. So appreciate you. Can you share a little bit about your passion, Ruth? Like, yeah.
Sure. So basically, at the end of the day, my biggest why is let me back up a little bit. I believe some of the best ideas and so many inventions in terms of solving social ills and health problems, those lie in cemeteries. And I have a background, a family where that happened. Also, a lot of, happened, and many of them ended up in cemetery for different reasons. And at the end of the day, what I really do is I don't want another person to leave this side of reality with their voice or their song still inside them. And so basically, I love people, and I love hearing stories. And everyone has a distinct, unique story. And that's all part of their brand. And if they're writing books, even fiction books, that comes out. I work with nonfiction authors in terms of helping them write a manuscript, but I also do book marketing for fiction and nonfiction, depending on what it is. So that's basically what I do, is I help people find their voice and help them craft their message and hold that for them while I help them reach it. And it's in the form of creating their brand, writing their book, giving a TEDx talk, whatever that is, get out there. And so that's what really, really moves me. And I'll tell you, for those of you who have written a book or who want to write a book, boy, once you write a book, it's like, I'm ready for the next one. And I can't tell you how many people have wanted to write books for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I've had a client who writes poetry, gorgeous poetry,
Oh, God.
and she's wanted to do something with it for 30 years.
Guys,
And
can we get a show of hands who's wanted to write a book for a long time and hasn't written a book? Let me see some hands here. Okay. My hand's up, Ruth. My hand's up.
Yeah. And you know, here's the other thing. Everyone has a book inside them. Everyone has at least one book inside them. And it's a crime that people don't write their books, because here's the deal. Once your spirit says, once you are called to get your message out and write a book, it won't leave you alone. It won't let go. It will come back, and it will come back, and it will come back. And so it's the most curious thing. It's the most curious thing, because I believe your spirit is trying to get a special voice out into the world, a message out into the world, and it won't leave you alone until you do it. And you can choose to do it, you know, tomorrow, or you can choose to do it in 2 years. And, you know, you laugh tomorrow. And, you know, my most recent book is Generation Why Not? Why not start tomorrow?
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? Why not start today?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know, what's holding us back? What's holding us back? And I'll tell you, you know,
let's ask that question, you guys, because I want to know what's holding you guys back. So we have a challenge going on, and we have a percentage of you participating and some of you who aren't. So I'm really interested in you answering that question. I'm going to poll you guys. It's important you do this with your audiences, so you know you're providing the optimal value for them. So tell me, give me like 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. What's holding you back? Is it you're self-conscious? Are you worried about judgment? Are you holding on to an old story? Are you afraid of succeeding? What is holding you back? Throw it into the chat so we know. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on, let's activate. We know, like, why isn't your camera on? What's holding you back? What's holding you back from being seen? You're in a video, you know, challenge right now, and whatever you're doing with your camera right now is what you're doing in your life, your business. So Ruth and I are committed that you're not, you know, not showing up. Like that, we're committed that you show up for your life, for yourself. We don't have guarantees for tomorrow, right? Ruth just shared. So let's hear what's holding you back. Perfection. Oh my gosh, talk about that, Ruth. Really? Come on.
Yeah, you know, all of these, what's holding you back? Overwhelm and confusion, the technology that you think it might entail, lack of time, and perfection. And I will say blanketly, and then I can get into each one if you want, but blanketly, these are all limiting beliefs. These are beliefs that show up in almost all parts of our life. So if we're feeling a lack of time, chances are good that that shows up in other parts of our life. And why is that? And here's the deal. It's not about procrastination. It's not about being lazy. You know, that is such a misnomer. At the essence of what causes our limiting beliefs is fear. And that fear is tied into a belief that we created when we were very young. And then it's a you know, the beautiful thing, I get the opportunity to not only help people write their books, but I get the opportunity to help coach them through limiting beliefs. Another big one is I don't have anything to say. Who would really listen to me? Or another one, there's so many books out on my topic. Really? I have anything new to say? My answer to that is yes, yes, and yes. And in terms of perfection, I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Yeah.
And so I understand. How many of you are?
Yeah, raise your hands. Seriously, be honest, people.
And there's some people in my world that would say that I still am. I do not believe so. But at any rate, the perfection really comes, and I can attest to this. Inside somewhere, there was a lack of enough confidence. There was a lack of confidence, where I had to outperform. I had to be even better. I had to be more. And there's the trick. It
Yeah.
had to be better. It had to be more. Because when we talk like that, it has to be more. I feel I have to be more.
Yeah.
I feel I have to be better. And so I just got goosebumps.
Yes, this is so
Yeah.
important. So here's the thing, like it's you mentioned the word essence, and I recently had somebody say to me, a director, Patty, we want the you that rolls out of bed in the morning. We want your essence. We want your truth. Let's talk about branding, Ruth, because who you are at your core is all you need to be. The
Yeah,
rest will fall into place.
exactly,
Is it?
exactly, exactly. And I just have to say, I can barely write more than 5 sentences. How do you start? I'm going to share with you how to start, and then we'll go into the branding piece.
Okay.
How to start? Just start writing. And even if it's this, Ruth has no idea what she's talking about. Just write it. Ruth wants me to write more than 5 sentences. I can't write 5 sentences. You just keep going, 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 because eventually your conscious brain, that critical parent goes, you don't know enough. There's not more you can say. Eventually that critical parent goes away because you don't pay it attention. You don't feed it. And you keep writing, and then all of a sudden, good stuff starts to come. So that's how I would just say that. And yes, just start. Yes, Nike has just do it. I have just started. All my clients know, just start it, because otherwise you think too much in your head.
Yes.
So in terms of branding,
Yeah.
you are your brand. Everywhere you go, everything you do is who you are. And it's essential that you identify who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. And some people will call it the big why, but there are 2 types of big whys. There's more of the ego why, and there's more of the humanitarian spirit why. And the ego, poor little ego, it gets a bad rap. There's the ego that causes us the limiting beliefs and the fears. And we've got to love that part and learn about it and grow from it. And then the other part of the ego is the part, where I want to write a book. I want to start a family. I want to buy a home, whatever that is. I want to buy this lamp. And it's that growth also. And then the humanitarian why. And so the brand is how you see the world, the words you use, your thoughts, your intentions,
Yes.
how you treat your clients. Now, here's the most amazing thing. I just started a class on branding 360, because most people think, including branders, that a brand is your logo or something outside. No. There's 2 parts to branding that you must have. There's the personal internal brand and the external business brand. And if those are not in alignment, if there's a gap, right in between that gap is where you lose potential clients, right there. Because, and then the comment is, but they just don't understand me. They don't see me. Because your personal brand, you first have to work on your personal brand. Who are you? What's your brand story? Why are you doing what you're doing? That's a brand mission. Your brand promise. What can your clients depend on when they work with you? I love Costco, and I might purchase something large there, because the promise is I can return it if something happens.
Yeah.
What are you promising? What can your clients, before you figure that out, don't even go with the logo. That's the least of it.
Ruth, let's get them into action. What do you
Yeah.
say? Like, how about you guys, let's throw out one word how does this sound? That would describe your brand of who you are. Like, for example, mine is when I show up, guys, you're going to have fun. So one of the things for my brand is fun. So throw in some words that would, if you were going to give yourself one word, what would it be? Let's get you like in here with Ruth. Warmth. There you go. Genuine, self-love. Ooh, powerful. Humility. Passionate. Oh, I love that. Okay. Compassion. Okay. See how specific we're getting? Now we're like, we get your like juice. Like that
Exactly.
director said, who are you when you get out of bed? Right? This is
and with those, these are brand values, what you're talking about.
Yep.
That's how you see yourself. How do you see yourself?
Yes.
And then you tell a story around each one of those
Yes.
personal values. You don't tell someone you're authentic. You show them you're
Share
authentic.
them. Yes.
Right?
And can I add another little piece that I got the
You
distinction
can
of
add
this
with
morning?
yeah.
Okay. I'm just like, guys, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm so excited. Okay. So this morning I woke up and I was like, story is important in your brand, right? Ruth, tell me if you agree with this. Now take it to the next level. We're going to up level here. Story is important. How your audience hears your story is most important. It's not about you just venting and getting stuff off your chest. It's about what are you saying so they can actually hear what you're delivering and they can go out and change the world with their magic. Okay.
Yes, yes. Now, in response to that, I love that, Patti. I love that. And in response to that, not everyone is your client. Not everyone is your client. And so the actual words you use, the way you see the world, your ideal clients, and I'm talking ideal clients, not just clients, forget clients. You're going to want to work, in my opinion, I tell my clients with ideal clients. Who are ideal clients? They're people that see your value. They hear you because they feel heard. They feel seen. And all of a sudden, there's a synchronicity that happens. It's what we happened on the phone with us.
Yes.
It just our verbiage and why did you want me to be on this summit? There was something that I said in my story about me that was in alignment with you. And so your idea, and that's why you've got to be so clear on who you are and how you see the world and how you project. It's not about, and this is why, turn off social media for a while or don't compare, because we tend to say, oh, I really like that. And then we try and use that, but that's not us. It's not us. And so who are you? And here's the deal. Your personal brand will determine your business model. It will determine the way that you enroll clients, onboarding, offboarding. Your brand will determine if you're high touch or low touch or a hybrid. High touch is, I'm very high touch. And that is, I see my clients a lot. Low touch is just online, and a hybrid is online, and that's how
I love that, Ruth. Can I add a little bit to that as well?
Yes, yes.
And what Ruth is saying is going to eliminate some of the, if you guys feel like you're on a gerbil wheel all the time, you just like work, and like you're doing a lot, but you're not really producing a lot of results. What Ruth is sharing today is going to help you fine tune so that you're not working as hard. Because for example, and I'll bring it into real time, our relationship, right? So one of my branding words that the essences of me is fun, right? But also integrity and quality relationships. So everyone I bring in front of you guys has that value, like that one piece of like integrity, authenticity, has a value for relationships and connection, right? So those are things you'll always see in the guests that I put here for you to bring value to your life. So those relationships are easy. That's why when Ruth and I hopped on the phone together, it was like no brainer, right? We were just like laughing and then like we were friends in like 2 minutes. So, okay, keep going.
And your ideal client, many times that will happen. I often get, and I'm sure you do also with your ideal client, wow, Ruth, I've never been asked that question before. I mean, wow. I can get someone crying in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make them cry. It's just that I get it. I hear them. And for the first time, many times they hear that. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, synchronicitous situation, and your brand has to be created first before your programs. And when I help people write their book, they'll know their brand. In fact, I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm going to say in the high 90s, when people start writing their brand, writing their book the way that I help them, their income increases right away. And this is really important. Why? Because for the first time, they actually see their own value. They see the value they bring their clients. And there's no way that you can share your value to others, or will your potential clients hear it, until you're clear on what that is. And
Oh, that is so good. You guys, did you hear that? Oh my God. Okay, get
yeah,
in the chat. Let me hear what you're hearing. Let me see what you're hearing.
brand before program, absolutely.
This is a speedy way to your success. Going in, going deep, knowing who you are, knowing your values. This is the work I do as well, Ruth. Like this is the cream. This is like
It's
the gold
it
before
is
you get on camera.
it absolutely, and that's why being on camera is so important once you identify your brand. Because Patti, you are your brand. You are so consistent, and what little I know about you, you walk your walk, and that is so appealing, not only to me but to general people, I would imagine, and certainly your clients, because the value there is, oh, Patti's going to help me walk my walk. For the first time, people are going to be able to see me for who I am consistently, as truly who I am, not the words, not but truly they're going to see it. They're going to feel it.
Yes, we say in theater and film, we say whatever you can do in an action, you don't need to do with words. So before you show up, the pictures, when you take your pictures, and listen, look, can we just tweak something about like getting started before your brand is figured out? Sometimes you got to be in the arena figuring it out. But before you fine tune and you throw thousands of dollars into developing a program, you want to have your branding. But to get on camera, to get out to your audience, to practice, like it's good to do it when you don't have a bigger audience, because you get to fall forward, right? You get to make mistakes. It's important to make those mistakes. I just want to make that little distinction. Like we want to get going, but before we pour, thousands of dollars into a program, like get clear on who you are. Like now's the time to fine tune that piece. You got us, right, Ruth? Ruth,
Yeah,
your branding, by the way, to me is so action oriented, warm, authentic. You're like you are also such an up level brand to me. It's not that you're just helping everyone write a book, but they're writing a book that's going to be a bestseller. It's going to be like gold. Yeah. So
and it represents who you are. I mean, people, oh my God, your book is going to be in the Library of Congress. Oh, the first time I wrote my book, it was called Where Did the Time Go? And then it was updated to Time Management Secrets for Working Women. And then I did some marketing books. And I remember going to Washington, D.C., and I went to the Library of Congress. I had to touch the book that was in the Library of Congress, which will be there far, far longer than I ever will be. And wow. I went up to the librarian. I asked for the book. They said, "I'm so sorry, miss. We're so busy. We can't do it." And I go, "Oh, I'm the author. I really wanted to touch my book." "You're the author?" "Yes."
Oh.
Went and got my book. I held my book like probably I held my firstborn. It's unbelievable. And might I add, when you create a book that you're proud of, not a weekend book, but a book that is what I call a legacy book that you're proud of, that will also, for me, I help people write nonfiction books that are the centerpiece of a very successful and profitable enterprise. It's the centerpiece of who you are. It's the centerpiece of your business. It's not about selling $20 books. It's about selling $3,000 programs, $7,000, $8,000, whatever that is. It's about getting asked, thank you, to be on summits. It's that you're asked. It's to be a thought leader. It's to have your message out there in the world. These are the pieces that are so essential. And in so doing, when you know your brand and when you get your voice out and when you know the value that you bring to your clients, it has, and they said, a book to create impact, real impact, real impact. And then the book, and then it's in the, I mean, it survives you. It survives you. It's in the Library of Congress, for gosh sakes, you know?
Wow, that is so exciting. So we're gonna just go back a little bit, right, to the deep dive, because we were getting, let's get everyone super aware that the book first starts with your awareness of who you are, with your awareness of your why, with your awareness of what you're creating into the world. And so, Ruth, let's go through some of the steps here. Let's just like,
Hey, let's
yeah,
do it.
okay.
All right. So first of all, I don't want you to worry about the title. So many times we are held back because we're thinking of a title. Trust me on this one, if you will. The title will come in.
So let's just like pause one sec. Let's talk title, you guys, is also what you're going to speak about when you do your video. So everything that Ruth is saying, like we're talking about converting that over to being on camera, because your title of what you're talking about and the message that you want to land in your audience, it's the same. It's all the same. So this approach you can use across the board.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of so many. So forget to have to do the title, and and get out of your head. And how do you get out of your head? You just start writing. And I like what's called morning pages.
Yes.
Julia Cameron from The Artist's Way created the 3 pages, the morning pages, and I do that every morning. I have my writers do that. I have my branding people do it. I have my marketing people do it. Every morning, get the stuff out. Get that conscious, the limiting out.
So right now, you guys have a workbook that we provided you. It's on the landing page. If you haven't printed it out, go grab it right now. And there's a page that you can go to the speaker pages. You could take notes for Ruth. And then on the right side, put all the things that are being triggered right now for you. What are you hearing that applies to you in your life, in your business, in your message, right? If you put in a word of your essence of who you are and your brand and your value, write that down, because we're gonna give you an exercise after this. You want to pay attention. Okay, go ahead.
I love that. I wish we had more time because I'm high touch. I feel like, I want to take each of these, the overwhelm and the confusion, the perfectionism, and coach them through, do laser coaching for 3 minutes.
Well, you are, because you're saying get into action, right? That's number one. Get onto the page, get your pen. Look, I'm taking notes. Look,
and then number 3, I want you to identify, this is a nonfiction book, or even a memoir for that matter. I want you to identify, what do you want your reader to get? At the end of the book, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to get? And then I want you to come up with 10 to 15 of those and just put it in bullet points.
Okay, can you repeat that one more time? Go ahead, repeat that. Step 3, right?
Step 3, I want you to figure out, what is it you want your reader to get in that book? At the end of the reading it, what do you want them to get?
Yeah. So let's talk video too, right? So in your video, what do you want them to receive? For example, this challenge is to get you into action and up level what you're doing in video. I am clear 1000%. I am sleeping, breathing, eating this for you guys right now. So anything it takes to get that message clear. So right now, Ruth's giving you the tools to get that happening for your branding. So take your notes and write down, what are you providing? What is it that your audience needs from you that you'll be providing them?
Okay. So this is part of getting your brand and starting to write the book, right? Okay. Getting in gear for that. And then, believe it or not, those 10 to 15 items or bullets are what I refer to as your working chapters.
Wow.
They're your working chapters. How cool is that? Now, I have to share this because a lot of times people think they know what their book is, what they want to write on, and what their book is, and the reality is they don't. I had someone find me from Canada, She had written a book. She had had a book coach. She printed the book. She had it published, and nothing was happening with the book. This is how important your brand is. Nothing was happening with the book. So someone said, you got to talk to Ruth Klein. So she connected with me. I looked at the book. She sent me the book. I interviewed her for about 15 minutes. I said, I am so sorry. There is nothing in this book that represents you. I'm not, and that is why nothing is happening with this book. The only thing I would keep is the cover. The cover was appropriate. She goes, no, Ruth, I just wrote the book. I had a book coach. I said, I don't want to know who the book coach is. I'm so sorry, but this is it. And so she rewrote the book. And then she had a $10,000 week. Why? Because the book that she had thought was her book was not her book. It was not her book. I had another gal, some friend invited some other friend over to my house, and she said, Ruth, I'd love for you to help me write a book. And I talked to her a little bit, and then she goes, this is my book. And I said, I am so sorry. That really, if this is what you want, that's not your book. Oh, no. That is my book. I said, I am so sorry. I can't work with you with that book because I would not feel good because the outcome will not be what you want. She was upset with me. 3 years later, this is an honest, a real story. 3 years later, I get a call. Are you the Ruth Klein that writes books? Yes, I am. She's here in LA. She had to come see me before COVID land, right? Shortly before COVID land. And I thought that was strange, but she really had to come see me. So she came and she just started crying. And she said, you were right. That was not my book.
Right.
So I just share with you because sometimes we spend so much time and effort and we think we have the book, and it's not necessarily the first book that we need to write, or it's not necessarily the book that's going to take us to where we want to go.
Oh, you guys. So I want to see if that's landing. So who metaphorically is writing somebody else's book? Throw in a 1 in the chat if you are resonating with this information, that you're trying to sell something, do something, be something, talk into something, comparing yourself. Is this resonating with you? Because it's probably causing you a lot of extra work in your life. I know, I've been there. And people pleasers, come forward, because if that's what you're doing, that's what you're creating in the world. So yeah, super powerful, really, really powerful.
So those are the first 3 steps to starting a book. Now, you can understand why, knowing your brand and knowing that your book will be the centerpiece of that brand, then from there, you can start literally writing. Now, 2 more things you need to know. Number 1, every nonfiction book, if you want to really make it a profitable book, a successful book, get the message out there, you got to have strategy and you have to have structure in each of the books. Okay. And so
it's so valuable. Oh my God. That's literally what we're talking about on Saturday in the workshop, is structure, is a framework. And as a creative and potentially an ADHD person, I can actually tell you that the framework allows me so much more creativity. Is that where you're going right now? Because so good.
And that's also what, in your voice, you can have, I don't know, 70,000 books on money. You have 70,000 books on branding. You can have 230,000 books on parenting. Yours will be different.
Yeah.
Yours will be different only if you identify who you are and you have strategy and structure around it. And even twins don't have the same fingerprints.
Oh, it's so good.
We are all so, in my opinion, I think we have all been divinely gifted with talents and creativity. And when someone says they're not creative, what does that even mean? They're not creative. What does that even mean?
Throw in the chat what makes you unique. Throw in here and tell the world what makes you unique. Right now, just declare it. Declare what makes you unique. So you get to step into it and own your power, who you are, and just like stand in that powerfully. That's right. Keep going. Light it up, because this is your opportunity. This is who you are. You don't have to work at it. It's just what you have as you take a breath in the morning.
And the interesting thing is, many people do not know what their uniqueness is.
Maybe.
So Laura, is your passion and your positive energy. You're an encourager. Yeah.
Generous heart.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge.
Funny, I know I am unique.
Teresa, I have no idea. All right, Teresa, put your hand on your heart and close your eyes. Take a nice big breath. What's the first word that comes to you? Pop it in. Let's see it. Passionate, action by example. Peace. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh my God, you guys, who got that? Raise your hand if that just landed in your heart. That peace. Oh, see what you brought to the group? That's being brave. You should type in brave now. Love, a unique experience, perspective, insights, and my energy. Passion, positive energy, experiences, my scars, and my wisdom.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Beautiful. Boy, oh boy, is that a book.
Okay, you know what? Let's do
that
this.
That could be a title. That could be
right.
So good. So
let's do this. Let's give them a challenge to go into the group with right here. I feel like this is a powerful moment. What do you say, Ruth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the content creation group, you guys know that any of you who don't, raise your hand if you do not have the information about the Facebook group. Let me see. Anybody? You're all there? Okay, cool. We are going there today, and you get to share in a 1 to 2 minute video what makes you unique. What makes you unique? And share that. Share from your heart. Jump 100 times, do some yoga, run around the block, run after your dogs. I don't care what it is. Press record and say, I am Lauda. And what makes me unique is I help people step into their beauty, their health, their wellness, their good vibes. Yeah. Loud. I hope I just made some stuff up right there for you. Okay, Ruth.
So, I love that. I love that. Can I just add one more piece
please,
of that challenge?
add. Yes. Keep
since
going.
we're talking what we're talking about, and then if you could just give one story, one example, without saying the words, but shows the feeling of that unique piece. Then you start to see how you can represent your brand values in your content, in your book, and things of that sort. I will tell you that once you get your brand down and your brand story and mission, you will not have any problem writing a website. It will flow. I had a client who just recently, she had been working months trying to figure out her website homepage. She couldn't. And then we did a brand story exercise in class. Next class, she wrote her whole homepage.
Wow.
From that brand story. That's how powerful it is, because that's what people want to hear. That people want to feel that on your website. Your website is another representation of who you are. And your video is as well.
Ruth, how do you feel about opening up to some Q&A?
I would love that. Absolutely.
Guys, why don't we
love that.
Let's just see a show of hands who has some questions for Ruth. Anybody? I don't see any hands. Oh, Alex has a question. Go ahead, Alex. You have to take yourself off mute. Yeah. Oh, there you
go. So I've got a question, Ruth, is it's like, I used to call myself the almost man. Almost man is like, I'd study violin and I'd get almost distinction. I'd do the exams, almost there, almost. So for me, I've got this passion. I take great photos, but it's just like this, not quite. And people can see I'm passionate, but maybe it's I'm not contacting the ideal client. But it's just like I'm almost there to getting a business that's lucrative, but it's just not quite there. There's just something holding me back all the time. And that's partly what I'm here for, is just to be able to find out what are the blocks to people seeing that I do have that light and that do have that passion. I do have a gift to give people. But it's just like that sort of, I think it's what I mentioned before, it's static, it's overwhelmed, it's getting sidetracked into other things like animal welfare issues and all sorts of things like that. But it's just really, my question is how to just keep going with that focus that you will get through to other people, you know, that you will communicate to other people, that you can get there, you can do it. Even I can, because my thing is like, people don't, my imposter syndrome says people don't really want to hear from you. People don't really want to acknowledge, even when doing photos with me would really boost their career, would really get them. I've launched models. I've gotten people LinkedIn profiles they just love, and yet there's still this sort of feeling that they don't really want to open that door for me. You know, they don't really want. Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Yeah.
All right,
Judy.
got it. Okay, got it. So, there's so, I don't even know where to start. Okay. So, when you say that they don't open the door for me, I'm going to suggest you are not opening the door for yourself. And underneath that is there is a fear, and that fear is based on a belief. And my guess is that belief started when you were younger, much younger. And then over the years, situations happened that reinforced that limiting belief. Okay, so most of our beliefs that we live by are created between the ages of 2 and 8. 2 and 8. And we don't have the cognitive, we don't have the cognition that we would at 30 and 40, but we're still living from those beliefs that we started. So somewhere, here's what I would suggest. Number one, go back as far as you can to feeling that feeling. How old were you, and what was the experience? Once you identify that experience and how it made you feel, it'll open you up to other experiences that reinforce that limiting belief.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then real quickly, what I'd like you to do is to really ask yourself today, is that real? Is that real?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, chances are it's not today. And I'd love for you to put your hand over your heart. It's called compassionate self-forgiveness. I lovingly forgive myself for judging myself for boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
The truth is, and whatever the truth is.
Yes.
That's a quick.
Oh, I love that. That's so helpful, because some of the questions and the comments in the chat are, you know, this is an emotional, Jan was sharing, it's an emotional subject for me. And so I would love if we could speak further into that, because everyone, you guys are showing up here and you're doing the work. It's like a lake, you know, when you jump in for a swim, what happens is you start, the sand starts moving, you know, everything on the bottom starts moving through the water. Things get, I can't think of the word right now, but things get churned up, you know? And so there's going to be emotion. There's going to be some emotion involved, and you get to walk through it.
And that's your treasure trove. I just want you to, I really want you to hear, if you haven't heard anything else, I want you to remember this piece, please. Those areas that we feel are weaknesses, those areas that stop us from doing things, I want you to realize from my perspective, and you can take it from there, but my perspective is those are treasure troves.
Yes.
Though your triggers are treasure troves of growth, of unbelievable possibilities. And when you make the decision, when you're going, the decision that yes, I am going to take a flashlight. That's all it is. I'm going to take a flashlight and I'm going to go into that treasure trove and I go, ooh, so many cobwebs. Let's clean that off. Let's be able to see that a little more clearly. Oh, wow, that really shines. I never saw that shine before.
Yes. Oh, Ruth, you are so wonderful. I'm so happy we live close to each other too. I just realized like we're both, we're going to get to do an IRL meeting together, and I'm really excited about that. You guys, can we show Ruth some love in the chat, just like for being here, for like answering questions, for pouring her value in, for getting you guys kickstarted, and for planting the seed of actually writing a book, like writing the book that's in your heart. And I am definitely going to be in touch with you about that. So I said it here. So.
Patti, I just want to say one more thing. And that is when I help someone write a book, we hit those triggers and I'm able to coach them through it. Isn't that beautiful? I love what I do. I know this is my purpose on earth. It's just so much more. I mean, writing a book's a big deal, don't get me wrong, but there's so much more involved. So much more.